Trevor, we are here with the one and the only Rob Zombie.
Hello.
It's so very exciting to have you back in Australia, finally.
I'm back.
After 16 years or something along those lines. First time
Something
here
like
as a
that,
solo
yeah.
artist.
That's true, that's true.
What did we do to make you hate us so much?
No, we didn't do anything, actually. No, I don't know what happened. I really didn't go anywhere. It's not like here, but I was everywhere else. I didn't go anywhere. It just became a thing of, I don't know. It just kind of happened. It was weird. After White Zombie, there was a break, and then I went and did my solo stuff, and we just never really got around the world anymore. And then I started making movies, and I really never went anywhere. And now I'm just trying to rectify that situation. So.
And now you're back with Hellbilly Deluxe 2.
Yes.
What made you do a sequel to an album that's now 13 years old?
I don't know. It just seemed like the right idea at the right time. It's so common to make sequels for movies and things that I thought it'd be kind of interesting to make it for a record. I think what actually inspired it, when I did do the record, it was exactly 10 years since the first one. So I thought it just kind of was an idea I had.
Because the album was actually recorded in 2008. Or something along those
something
lines,
like that. I forget exactly, but because what had happened was we recorded the record and finished it, but then I went to make a movie, so I didn't want to put the record out till I was done with the movie because I knew I couldn't tour or promote it. So yeah, we recorded the record, shelved it, went and finished the film, and then came back and put the record out.
Is there something specific about this record that actually that links it to Hellbilly Deluxe? Or is it just in name only?
It's kind of more in vibe, I think, than name. It was sort of the beginning of, it's been a weird evolution of, Hellbilly was sort of here, and we kind of stayed on the path. Then we sort of strayed from it, and it felt like we kind of came full circle back to the same vibe and look and feel and image and everything. And that record was sort of the beginning of that, I guess. So that's kind of the reason.
I think listening to your whole career, around the time of Astro Creep, White Zombie album Astro Creep,
yeah.
you started to pick up this kind of industrial sound with synthesizers and keyboards and all of that. Now you seem to have gone back to the raw rock / metal.
Yeah, I mean, really,
sound.
We had tried to incorporate some of that onto the first record, but it didn't really. It's not so much. The first
solo record.
No, the first White Zombie. Well, not the first White Zombie record, but La Sexorcisto was, very basic, even though we wanted to incorporate that. Then by Astro Creep, we kind of had gotten very much into that sort of vibe, and I think that carried over into the first solo record. And slowly, I started kind of weaning off of it because it just, you just change. Things sound exciting. You want to do this sort of sound, and then you kind of get bored with it, and you want to do other things. And now, it's a little more straight up, I think, than it used to be.
Well, that straight-up sound is kind of encapsulated in the Sick Bubblegum video, which is essentially you guys just jamming in a room.
Yeah, that was like, that was my house. We just set up all our equipment in my house. We just filmed the video there, because I kind of hate making music videos now, so how lazy can you get, right? You shoot it in your living room.
I imagine you must be a real taskmaster when someone's coming in to direct a music video, or are you directing it?
I've never had anyone direct us, so I've done them all myself since the beginning. Mostly, there's been certain times where I've met with people about directing the other videos for me, but I get fed up with them. Mostly because they waste money. A lot of times they're money wasters, and that was a big thing back in the day. One time, because it was a live video and I couldn't do it, we'd hired someone else to do it, and they'd spent so much money that at the end of the day I was like, "This is insanity. Never again." And
how much of that goes into their pocket?
Well,
I mean, they've obviously got to charge a fee.
Probably they charge a fee, but it wasn't even. It was just waste. It was like stupid things like renting techno cranes that nobody checked to see if they could actually fit in the building. So you had this $200,000 crane sitting in a truck because they didn't bother to measure the door or something. Just stupid shit. So never again. But that was a long time ago anyway.
Yeah. You've had a different lineup throughout your solo records.
Yeah. Not really on purpose. It just kind of happens.
Is that one of the luxuries of being a solo artist? I mean, that must help you naturally evolve.
Well, it's kind of a pain in the ass, really. I mean, it's, because every time you think the band is solid and you feel good about it, something always happens. But it was like that with White Zombie, too. I mean, we went through members like crazy. We had several different drummers and guitar players and everything. So it was always like that. It's hard holding a band together. I mean, bands that have been the same lineup for their whole career, it's actually, I find that mind-boggling that they were able to do that. I mean, it's great if you can do that, but it's pretty hard.
Is it hard to, if you're hiring an artist, from an outsider's perspective, that to me seems like a boss hiring an employee. Is it hard to strike up a creative rapport? You know.
Well, no, you have to go for the person first. I mean, with everybody that I've ever gotten in the band, because there's a lot of great musicians. I mean, it's not like there's a shortage of great guitar players or drummers or something, but there has to be the personality comes first, because you got to live with these people. You know, you got to tour with them, you live in a bus, you live in a hotel, you spend so much time with them. It's more than you spend with your family sometimes. So you got to really like them, you know, and that's really been the, you know, and now I think I've lucked out because I found, you know, great people that I really like being around. We never argue, there's never a problem, but they're phenomenal musicians.
Yeah.
And that's a hard combination, because sometimes you get a great musician, but he's a pain in the ass. You know?
You're gonna have to hold on to these guys tight.
Oh, something will happen. It always does. Like I said, every time I think the lineup's solid, something happens.
And some people will spend their entire lives just trying to get into music or just trying to get into film. Somehow you've managed to cram 2 careers, one in music and one in film, into one lifetime. How did you manage that?
You know,
it wasn't until 2002, I think, was your first movie? House of a Thousand
something
Corpses?
like that. I think I actually shot it before that. I don't know. Actually, I forget. Yeah. I mean, I had been. What really happened? I mean, starting a band is easy. You know, you can just start a band. Doesn't mean you're good. Doesn't mean you'll ever make any money. Doesn't do anything. But you can start a band. You know, we could all decide right now we're going to start a band. So that was basically what happened. You know, you buy cheap equipment, you get a band, you're on your way. But making movies was a little more tricky, especially back then, because I mean, now you get a video camera and do things. But you know, when it was just film and stuff, it was so expensive to do that. So it was like kind of, I always wanted to do both, but I couldn't really do both. And it wasn't until I started directing the music videos that kind of led me on the path to making movies. And then it was, you know, but it took a long time. I mean, there had been a lot of projects that had failed before I finally got a movie made. Put it that way.
Yeah.
So it wasn't easy. Still isn't easy. It's always a struggle.
I mean, did you know anything? I mean, you know, when you're forming a band, you're just picking up a microphone and singing into it. You obviously can't do that when you're a director. Or did you just pick up a camera and start pointing it at
No,
things?
you got to learn stuff. I mean, I didn't know anything about anything. You know, you're always learning. I mean, every day you learn something. I mean, that's what's great about with each movie. You can evolve and you learn, and you're always learning. I mean, every director, even people that are brilliant and they've made incredible movies, they'll always say, like, each thing is a new experience. They're always learning. They never feel like they're satisfied. So, no, I mean, but the main thing is that I always tell people, especially with film, you know, you can go to film school and you can learn the technique, but the reality of it is so different, because the things that happen on a film set and what can go wrong and how it is, they don't teach you in school, you know. You can learn the technique, and you got to have the technique, but that's, you know.
And you've got a very different film to what you've been doing before coming up. I believe you're going to be directing The Dirt, the Motley Crue story.
I am not directing the Motley Crue story. I don't know how that craziness started. I'm doing a movie called The Lords of Salem. So
that's quite different.
Yeah, no, The Lords of Salem, I started working on a little bit before I came here, just with some location scouting. Then when this is done, I'm going to head back home and jump into production on that. So
it'll be a while before we hear another record?
Well, yeah, I mean, we'll probably make another record at the beginning of next year, but the rest of this year is all filled up with film.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I hope when this next record finally does come out, I hope you don't spend another 16 years avoiding Australia.
Well, we'll see.
Back.
No, we'll be back. We'll be back so often you'll get sick of us.
Thanks so much, Rob.
Thank you very much.